What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of Real Estate Podcast, episode 289. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trav.
And I'm here with Adam.
This week we watched motherfucking Aqua Teen Hunger Force, right? Did I watch the right movie?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I watch.
Motherfucking Plantasm.
Aqua Teen forever. I mean, look, Aqua Teen was one of those shows on Adult Swim that came around, and it was kind of my first introduction to like this weird off the wall,
Adult
like
Swim type cartoons, like
yeah,
just
exactly.
strange.
Yeah. I mean, because like when you think of adult type cartoons prior to this, you kind of think of like Beavis and Butthead or
That
things
heavy
like that.
metal show. What was that one movie where the show it come on MTV and there was always nudity? That was an adult cartoon.
Yeah, but there was always like a something something happening that kind of like, I don't know, it felt threaded together. But Aqua Teen was one of those things where it's like, this doesn't feel like it's the same universe
Yeah.
for every episode. Like it's just so random. You know what I'm saying?
Just the William Street content in general has like its own. Each show is like drastically. Each show is drastically different, but there's like a common thread, and it's humor delivery. Like it's almost like a southern irony comment. I don't know. It's hard to like.
They got a Theo Von filter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just so random, the shit. I'm like, how did they come up? I'm like, what drugs?
Yeah, exactly. And how many and where can I find them? Like
I let my grandfather watch a clip from Squidbillies.
Right.
And he's sitting there, he's laughing his ass off, but he's like, what do these people own that make this? And I'm like, I don't know, but it's got to be good, right? I mean, that's the first thing that came out of his mouth. He's like, it's funny, but whoever made it was on something. It's
right.
High on life, man.
I feel like the closer, I know maybe I'm the only one that thinks this, but I feel like the closer you live to Atlanta, the funnier the delivery of these shows are for you, and the funnier that they become. Like I genuinely think it's a regional sense of humor.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way, But I mean, when did Aqua Teen quit airing on Adult Swim? I mean, it's been a little while, right?
It's been a minute. Remember they rebranded.
Yeah.
Several times. I'm like, why do we keep changing the name?
It was like every season it was a whole new thing.
I could never figure out why they did that, but I'm trying to find some kind of information. Wikipedia is fucking long, buddy.
Yeah, I know, right?
So remember, Unit Patrol Squad 1 was 2011.
Yeah.
And then you had 2012 Aqua something, whatever.
Yeah.
Then they changed it again. It looks like it stopped 2015.
So, I mean, it's been a minute, and this felt like an extended episode. Like legit, it felt like an extended episode. So
yeah, it ran from 2000. Wow, whoa, on Cartoon Network, and then Adult Swim 2001 to 2015.
Oh yeah, I remember it would occupy that late night block.
Yeah,
when they were just getting into that Adult Swim thing, like
right.
the weird come back at night, the weird shit comes on.
Well, like it would be like 1 to 2 hours of Williamsburg animation, or Williams Street. I'm sorry, and then it would switch over to like the anime blocks, where from like 11 to 1 o'clock it would be those obscure animes that never aired necessarily during Toonami. I remember it used to at least peak teenage high school me. At any given moment, you'd cut on and it would be either C Lab, Venture Brothers, Aqua Teen, Metalocalypse.
Yeah.
And then it would switch over to stuff like Big O, Gundam, the actual, like they would show some of the more bizarre animes, and then they would still have that Toonami recap where they'd air that day's episode of Dragon Ball or Sailor Moon or what have you.
Right. But yeah, Aqua Teen was one of those shows. It took me a little bit to like fully grasp what's happening here. You know what I mean? Like, because like when you first watch an episode, it's like overload.
You feel like you have ADHD or something.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
I think that was the thing too, man. Like as kids, we had short attention spans, but not like this new one.
Yeah.
The attention span now is really short.
Yeah, right.
So you have to like, even when they tell people when you cut YouTube videos, keep it moving. Attention time.
Well,
you gotta keep it moving.
Well, I think it's very much it's also the fact that William Street had its own like sense of boosh humor, where it's just random situations and random like injections of stuff that like just amp up the comedy. There's no point to it really. It's just there, and it's like a lot of the rants when you hear is almost like every writer for Adult Swim had that one relative that said the weird phrase that just made no damn sense. Like that kind of guy. They all had that person in their life, because these shows are ultimately like those long gestalts of people just saying that crazy shit.
Yeah, right.
Instead of where kind of. I mean, I suffer from it as well. I'm a long-winded person, so it's the idea of like, instead of saying, man, this door is hard to open, someone's like, man, that door is harder to crack open than a peanut, like that type of thing.
One thing that Aqua Teen was always really cool about was like it would introduce these like random off the wall characters. I mean, other than of course Shake, Frylock, and Meatwad, but it would introduce these like off the wall characters and give them like normal personalities, normal quirks. Like it's like, they exist in this world as just a normal person. And the people that's acting weird is always the people that are depicted as like normal people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I always found that very fascinating, the way that they did that, because like, I mean, it's, no, most of the time it's a weird situation and you expect the weird to kind of feed on the weird, but it's like these weird individuals having like a regular conversation, like Carl having the conversation in this movie about the property value to the fucking dude, I can't think of what his name is, the count or whatever it is.
The vampire.
Yeah, and I'm just like, holy shit. So it's amazing how they did that, and that kind of like looking at it from that perspective and making those characters more relatable than like who you should traditionally relate to. I think that that's kind of the birthplace to that to a certain extent, because now you see it, of course, across everything like Star Wars and Marvel and all that stuff, where you have like these really odd individuals that like this conversation should be weird, but it's not weird. It's like perfectly fine and normal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh man, the bit where Frylock's come back later on, and he's leaving in the limousine, and Carl comes around with that wig, and he's like, "This is Dave Mustaine's hair. Do you think you could clone him?"
Yeah, Megadeth forever, baby. It's like, whoa, okay. Dude, those episodes when Zach Wilde and fucking Geddy Lee show up, I'm like, God damn, this is hilarious.
One of my all-time favorite episodes from the show is when it's a house-centric episode, so the house is for sale next door to Carl, or the Aqua Teen's house is, and Glenn Danzig buys it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And the whole time he's finding problems because it's like just a normal house. He's like, I thought the faucets were gonna pour out blood. Like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
See, I'd went away. Were y'all talking about Metalocalypse?
No,
that was another show that was just random, just
no, that
crazy,
That show is near and dear to my heart, but we're talking about just random episodes from the actual run of Aqua Teen, and
Yeah.
we were talking about like when the different musician cameos would happen, and I had brought up the episode where Danzig buys buys the Aqua Teen's house, and all throughout the episode he's going to Carl to bitch about it because it's not like haunted or possessed or metal or anything. It's just a normal fucking house.
Fucking Carl was so good in this movie.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he's sitting there like that. He's sitting there masturbating on the computer to the fucking the money.
To the Zillow.
Yeah. And they made a
Carl.
point to show his hands covered in that disgusting like chili or ketchup or something.
Yeah.
Like it was just fucking disgusting.
Man, yeah, Carl fucking stole the show, dude. I mean, he always steals the show, but
I thought Neil was a funny character.
yeah.
The play on the tech billionaires, like for some reason, when I saw when they had the montage of him like jumping in the ice bath, going in the sauna, jumping in the ice bath, going the whole time I'm sitting there going, dude, they're making fun of Jack Dorsey so bad in this movie. Because I feel like that was kind of, they had to pull some.
Oh, it was Bezos, Elon.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely
Twitter
a little bit
Jack.
of everyone. Yeah.
How'd you like that little Alabama joke they threw in?
I mean, I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was like, he ain't wrong.
Yeah, right.
Big Neil?
Yeah. Big Neil.
Which
dude.
Neil? Big Neil.
Yeah.
No. Man, we're completely overlooking the actual show stealer here. And that was fucking Elmer.
Yeah, right.
Like when the way they drew him when he would like say some sinister shit.
Yeah.
That shit was so funny.
The way that they scrubbed half the movie.
Yeah.
Which was
that was funny.
Dude, it'd be like what was it? He says something at the beginning. He's
text
like,
us your girlfriend's numbers.
Yeah.
Text the numbers. Text them. Wait, don't text them. The phone. He's like, my phone's not on. It's the battery's dead. Wait, don't text them now. Text them in a minute.
It's like you could have had your phone on the charger the whole time I was ranting. He's like, I know.
All right, back to the movie. Then they're like hanging there. It's a good thing we traveled all the way across the world and killed those things. And I'm like, what is that humor right there? That just
when when they flip off the camera and they're like, feast on this, or it's like, if you need nourishment, get it from me.
The way it was pissing on that other one, it's like we got to drink more. We got to drink more.
Get more beer.
The fucking the llama dolly.
Oh my god! Everybody says it's a spaceship.
They say he's 4 inches tall. Don't tell him. Don't tell him we said that.
Yeah,
I'm the one that came up with it, but don't. It's like, okay.
It's just
funny though.
Random. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Well, like, even
man.
the ending, like classic Aqua Teen ending. Like they moved the moon, Earth's a fucking ice cube into the movie.
Yeah,
it's like you know what I mean?
Yeah, they saved the day, but fuck
not
the
really.
Yeah. Whenever fucking he was spraying Shake with that fucking silver spray.
Yeah. Oh,
they were making fun. The whole Mad Max spoof. Yeah.
He's like, "How you like that fucking? What is it? The side hawk." Wasn't sure about the color, but the side hawk. Hey, Fry Man.
That's too wicked with a Y painted on his fucking car.
You tell him you got foot cancer. I got foot cancer. You don't have feet. Not anymore.
I wish I could remember the quote that he says where he was like, whenever he's hopping everyone up, he's like, what we need is a toxic masculine man right now.
But he was talking shit about woke culture and
well, no, it's that part at the end. He's like, it's like I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna go give them a piece of my 200 something horsepower, blah blah blah, carbon footprint. Yeah. Everyone's like, that was one of the funniest moments in my opinion.
I loved it, man. And Aqua Teen's one of those things, like, even if you've seen the episode 1,000 times, watch the movie 1,000 times, watch this, there's always something that you find. because
Well,
it's just
dude,
so fast. It's just
that, and it's so random. Like, it's so random, the tags are hard to remember. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Unless one just really sticks with you. Like, you'll sit there and watch it, be like, oh, man, I can't wait to
and then
tell
it's
my
just
buddy
gone.
this joke, and then you're like, dude, I can't even remember the way they worded that shit. It was just so fucking different. Like,
it's just throwing
you
so many
almost
bits
just
at
have
you.
to see it. Like,
just
watch the clip, because their delivery was way better.
Well, and it's smart too, because the type of humor this is, sure, a 90-minute runtime could happen, but this type of stuff, just like with a 30-minute episode, it packs such a punch in such a short amount of time that, the runtime was perfect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Didn't they do back in the day, at first, didn't they have like little 10-minute, 11-minute?
Yeah,
it started with that, right?
Short.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember Squidbillies had followed that formula for a while.
Yeah.
And then I think they expanded to but by doing them that way, you could sit there and watch, 3 episodes was a half hour. Like,
yeah, right.
Oh, it was not uncommon back in the day when you would hang out with somebody that was a fan. You'd sit there and burn through a season over the course of a hangout.
I was telling Griffith the other night, the first time I ever smoked a blunt, which is really the first time I ever smoked weed, really. We were watching Aqua. That's what was on the TV. And I'd never giggled so hard in my life. I walked away from there like, I don't know if it was the weed or the show, and I had seen like little bits and pieces of Aqua on TV, but they had it on DVD. And just sit there and watch the whole season, dude. And it was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was back in the day. You could just go home and pull it up online. Like,
right.
But it was a trip.
It was, man. It was so good, though. I need to go back and revisit it.
There's a pack. I have it.
I'll have to take a look at that, because I wouldn't mind, revisiting all, because it's been a while and it's just so fucking random, dude.
It's one of those things too where you're like, I got 30 minutes, just throw a couple of these on.
Yeah, right.
You got 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Because they're so short.
Yeah, you can get in and out real quick,
Yeah.
But I'm going to give it a star, dude. Yeah, it was fucking incredible.
Hilarious.
Man.
I wonder why they made it. Because it says that the reason they got canceled was like the company that like moved in and kind of took over.
Yeah.
They're the ones that canceled it. And it's like, yo, bro, this is Adult Swim. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would imagine too that they may not kill ratings wise, but there's always a market for the DVDs, Blu-rays.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That makes money.
Yeah. And that's why, like, they even made a joke like, this didn't release in theaters. This, like, you got what
nobody
you got.
wanted it. They passed on it.
Yeah, right.
The VOD squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shirt they're wearing.
Boxy Brown.
Oh, that shit was so funny.
Wait a minute,
say it louder. Oh yeah, he got canceled.
Yeah.
Who did the old voice?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a joke that went over my head.
Yeah. But yeah, full star, man. Does it get the coveted golden Aqua team? Because there's 3 of them. There's 3 of us.
We give it it's the coveted Llama Dolly. That's hard to say backwards.
Llama Dolly, yeah.
It's like a little statue.
Yeah.
Looks like
I think just overall though, I think, if anyone that's listening, if you're around our age and you more than likely cut an episode or 2 on with this, it's more of the same, but it's still just as good as it's if you enjoyed it, you'll like it. If it was something, then move along.
Because that's the thing, good. Like Aqua Teen ain't for everybody.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like even people your age, You'll be like, you'll love this, and they're like, this is fucking stupid, and it's like, okay, no, you're stupid.
And normally a polarizing, style like that usually pulls a half star out of me, but I don't know. I feel like there's a level of nostalgia that's forcing a full from me, man.
I mean, I get that. Andor.
Wait, there was another episode?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
another one after that one, too.
Dude, we straight talked like it was a finale last week, guys. I thought we were done.
There's
I didn't bother
10.
even looking.
There's 11 and 12. 12 will be next week. We can just pick up then. I mean,
well, no. I mean,
other than still some, politics.
Yeah.
Shit, I thought, because I was like, man, that's a finale. Holy shit! Like, I mean,
that was 10,
y'all
right?
can go over it.
I think so.
Yeah, I think this was 11. This was 11. I remember seeing it now on the Disney Plus. Well, like I said, it didn't. We're leading into the next one.
Yeah,
like that one was just kind of. There's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
Those creatures where they were trying to steal their ship.
Oh my god,
dude! The design.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to your store. The guy was like it, and they're like, "Oh shit, say less. You need help?
Yeah, we got you, bro."
I'm really hoping that Andy Serkis shows up in that last episode. I don't think it's going to happen, but they might hold off and like because it just they never cut back to show you like what happened to him.
Yeah.
So it leads me to believe he got away.
Yeah. On program.
If they know what's good for him.
Yeah.
But you're starting to see the wheels turn and figure out why hell everything is the way it was. Like,
yeah.
I mean, they've been treating these people like shit.
Yeah, right.
Arresting people for no reason and doing forced labor. Sheesh.
I mean, they're really showing you the sins of the empire, though.
Yeah.
Like in a way that we've never really seen it before. Not like with medium like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see that because the way that they're torturing people, the way that they're slave laboring people, the way that they're being a menace to society, you feel it. You feel the plot, and like after watching Andor, it makes that like victory so much sweeter whenever you get a victory. You know what I mean? So,
but yeah, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, right. So, we got a little movie news here, though. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, do you guys just want to go ahead and jump into the Disney shit? Because I mean, that's been the most dominating article I've seen. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. Let me.
You got an article in here?
I do not. Let me see.
Well, I could see some of the stuff. Well, they brought him back. Yeah. Now, some of the articles I read were like, so they had that other guy come in. So Disney went. This is their words, not mine. Okay.
Yeah.
Disney went woke for 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, you know what happens when you do that? You go woke, you go broke, man. They're bouncing back. They're like, okay, he's out. This other guy's in. Now, here's my thing. Unless that guy is going to fire Kathleen Kennedy, nothing's changing.
Yeah. At least not.
If he's not going to get rid of her ass, then what'd they do?
Exactly.
I just think it's crazy. I just think it's crazy how
they went back on
quick it was.
Yeah.
Now, the details that I saw were that because of his like more specific details, I guess, because it's essentially what you were saying. When Chapek was in there, he started kind of pushing back on some of that stuff, and essentially, long story short, he crossed HR's line, which HR was, they're the ones that was going over the whole, more or less kind of agenda setting stuff.
Yeah.
And whenever he started, talking about, just like a lot of big companies right now, laying off a lot of people. Like, it's not just Twitter.
Yep.
Like, Amazon laid off. I think it was like 11,000 employees.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of
Facebook.
a lot of really big companies are downsizing in preparation for a recession.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
It's
I
happening.
mean, and it's not I say that as for context. I certainly don't want to get political by any means, but or real world shit.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's reality. So it's
Yeah,
happening.
and Disney's in a company is a company that's going to make money, and they thought they were going to have that with Shapex's leadership, but once that cost cutting measure took into effect, then word got around through HR. Essentially, they were like, "No, campaign, get rid of him now," and it went to, well, no, not necessarily HR. I know I'm butchering it. The source I was reading it from, but it got down to where instead of just the few people that would be like, I'm gonna pull out my little bit of money I've got invested in Disney,
Oh.
the really woke billionaire
Mm-hmm.
companies are like, we're pulling out now unless you get rid of this guy. That's
Wow.
kinda sorta
So Disney
that's
folded.
yeah.
They got rid of the guy. That's not a good thing.
But they
No.
brought back the guy though. Here's the weird part. They brought back the guy that essentially created the problems that
Yeah.
needed JPEG to fix in the first
Right.
place.
Which is
Right.
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very weird regardless of where you stand on any of the subject matters
Well,
involved with that, but it's just odd.
they brought back the guy that's going to say, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's what we're doing. He's a
On
yes
the
man.
cer
He'll say yes.
and on a certain level, I believe that's absolutely right. But it also shows me too that I feel like Disney doesn't know what to fucking do.
Well, and I
It
think
just
that
doesn't. It's because it's like,
You got to walk on eggshells, man. Now, I mean,
yeah,
exactly. That's
that's
the
yeah,
what
thing.
we've
Like,
turned the world into.
I think that every company, to some extent, that has a public presence feels that way. And I
Yep.
couldn't imagine being part of like something that produces visual media because, like, you have to have people there that have like different thoughts and opinions on
Mm-hmm.
the world for society to move forward. And if everybody is like ingrained in the same thought process, then what realistically are you accomplishing? And that's like we got to the point that we are today is because people kind of thinking outside that box and expressing their own ideas and things like that. But if you express one idea, regardless of what it is, you have to be able to not even accept, but also acknowledge the fact that like there's going to be a lot of people that's not going to believe what you're going to believe. There's a lot of people that's not going to agree with what you agree on. So like
Yeah.
you have to have both. You can't have just one side of everything.
Well, no, if you pick one side, you're going to have the other side that's not going to like it. You're better to just go down the middle, and have it
Yeah,
both ways. Like
and I
right.
Tarantino, I don't
think
know if it's in one of those articles, but I did listen to both podcasts he did the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
On Two Bears, One Cave, Tom asked him about, he said, like, Tom said when he would go in to pitch a movie, they would be like, okay, this character right here, this name, is that a black guy? Is that an Indian guy? And he's like, it's just a guy I didn't really think about.
Yeah, yeah.
It could be anyone. Does it need to be an Indian guy? And they're like, oh yeah, that'll help. That'll help big time. That they
I
really
mean,
push to, you know,
yeah, yeah.
Tarantino. He said, do they do that to you? And he goes, oh fuck it, no fuck it, Mm-mm-mm-mm. He says, the way that I write it, that's how it's going to be. If I write him down as a fucking black guy, he's going to be a fucking black guy. Okay, like.
Right.
But we're talking Tarantino versus Tom
Yeah.
Segura, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
he pretty much just gets his way. But
yeah,
I
that's
think it's one of those things too where everyone has to remember that at the end of the day, Disney is out to make money.
Yeah.
And the consumer, us, we can dictate that with our wallets
Mm-hmm.
and our ratings and
Yeah,
all of that.
exactly.
And eventually companies like Disney, and it's the same for all mediums and for practically anything in your life. You pay for what's good, you pay for quality, and you ignore the rest.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
eventually that will get phased out, or eventually that company will lose so much money constantly putting out the same shitty product that people don't want anymore.
Yeah.
And
They'll change.
it'll they'll either change or they will die on that hill. Either is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why Disney's so scared that could happen, because this cancel culture is a whole nother ballgame. Like, we've seen companies that were worth $1 billion one day, and all
Yeah.
that wealth just be gone a week later. Just
Yeah.
companies folding, got canceled.
Yeah.
And and it's not just Disney's not just guilty of this sin. So are a lot of the other major production companies
all
out
of 'em.
there. You always see these blanket statements that get made regarding any kind of issue. You can go look them up, man. But they always talk about how it's the storytelling that they care
Right.
about. And I don't know about you guys, but that hasn't really their end of the deal hasn't been holding up.
Right.
And I think and you can it's not hard to find the arguments for why these things don't work.
Yeah.
Everything from Reddit to Twitter to Facebook, any kind of social media, you can find, you know, I mean, to the point now where I'm finding pushback for the way, despite Black Panther 2 being pushed and promoted as this inclusive, whatever you want to call it, progressive movie. I'm even finding people that would normally you would think would be singing high praise for this, ripping it apart.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Talking
yeah.
about how they're saying, like, they're like there's a lot of one dimensionality to a lot of groups of characters in the film
Yep.
pertaining to their wokeness and all of
Right.
that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's happening the same with other companies as well, man.
I noticed it in the Woman King when that came out. There was all this like pushback.
Yeah.
That's a Sony picture. We watched the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Viola Davis is like this woman king of this tribe.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they didn't do their research. I don't know what happened here, but like based on a real tribe, and
Yeah.
they were like really bad people, man. Like they would
Right.
just go to other tribes and capture them and kill them all and enslave them. And of
Yeah.
course, none of that's in the movie, but
Right.
when you pick a
it's still
subject to do a
there.
movie on,
Yeah.
it's almost like if I won't go there. Yeah.
Well, for instance, and I think it's something that should be mentioned. I think there's room in the entertainment industry for every story that could ever be thought of to be told. And what really irritates me is not that it's not the stories themselves. It's not whatever message they're trying to get, because everything's got a message.
Right.
But it's this weird sense of it's almost like grade school recess hour where, or not even that, let's go even younger, where it's the classic, the little kid going, "You can't get me," like they initiate a chase by being
Yeah.
the one saying, "You can't get me, you're slow, you don't,"
Yeah.
and it's, you take that and apply
Little
it
nana
to
nana boo
whatever
boo,
yeah. And I don't like, I just, I don't like feeling like I'm judged already,
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And I don't think it's necessarily just me, typical white straight guy. I think it's everyone. It's getting to where it's everybody
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
And when it becomes all encompassing, that's when the pushback starts, and we're seeing it now.
It was the attack on comedy.
Exactly.
Everything was fine, man, but when you go after comedy,
yeah,
that's no bueno.
Right.
It's comedy, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's a joke.
Yeah.
So we don't get jokes no more?
Yeah.
But I think, I guess to get back to my initial thing on storytelling, it's the quality of not just Disney content, but all of them, man. There's a dip, and you can notice it. It's there, regardless of how much there are good ones still coming out there. There's still it's something I think we addressed in one of our previous episodes where, uh, taking your top writers and stretching them over so much different stuff, or taking a writing team and stretching it all over the place, it's the diminishing returns from that starting to show.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And when you can centralize it just a little bit, having a core team at the table, that's where it starts. That's where all the that's where everything else gets just elevated.
Well, that's what Marvel's had.
Yeah.
Over the years. Now, what's going on there now, I don't know, but
yeah,
for at least the last 10 years, we were trucking right along. We had a team that was.
Yeah.
I saw an interesting article about Marvel where one of their top executives had said, to the effect, it's kind of like essentially the same problem with The Witcher, where they're wanting writers and they're wanting people who are going in cold to these properties.
Right.
That way you can.
Well, they said it's
a champion for but the source material. It's like, yeah, fuck that. We're not doing that.
Well, here's the two-sided coin to that, because as I read it, at first I was like, well, this is bullshit. But by the end, I was like, damn it, there is a point here.
Yeah.
You could, like, for instance, one of the things we talk about all the time is Back to the Future being rebooted.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Griffin, I know you've sat through some of it before, but there are hours of me and Adam just discussing how we would redo it, and therein would be the problem. We have a tunnel vision. We have a tunnel vision of how we think it would work.
Oh, to us, it has to work that way. There's no other way.
Yeah, and our sense of faithfulness to that story could be its Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so having someone that just knows the underlying beats, can go in and create something and think of ideas we wouldn't have
outside the box
given.
Yep.
And so that's a very, dare I say, essential quality, especially for these Marvel movies.
I'd say it's good to have both in the room together.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody that doesn't know the shit about it and somebody that does. That way they can come together. But well, what if we did this? It's like, hey.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Good idea.
And I think, like with Henry Cavill, even so far as to go back to classic George Lucas era Star Wars, have people who are just genuinely good at writing, good storytellers, good at keeping a narrative together.
Yeah.
And give them something to work with, give them a sandbox to play in, but have them a wingman that's there to lore check them and go, hey, that's awesome, but remember this, and this, or, because when you're dealing with something like Marvel and such a large continuity, whether it's dedicated to I think the fans know now that Marvel's approach now has become a patchwork adaptation style. Like, we haven't been getting 1-1 adaptations at all, really.
No, not at all.
And I think it's worked. It's worked in its benefit. There are certain things that people are like, you need to get right, and those are all debatable things. But that's what makes these movies fun, to an extent, in my opinion, is seeing how they handle that, and how they just don't acknowledge it, or all of that, the patchworkness of it all.
Right.
So I feel like I just think it's weird that there's these articles come out where it's I don't know if it's a way to hit piece companies where it's like, well, hey, remember the outcry everyone had for Netflix and The Witcher? Well, let's see if we can stir that up with Disney and Marvel and have it to where where the
Yeah.
producers like but they at the end of the day they did say that it causes a red flag
I see
when
that
a
article you dropped
writer
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
for when a writer presents something to the or submits it or whatever, a filmmaker, what have you, and they're like, oh, they're fans of the comics and stuff.
Right.
And they did go on to be like, there are people that we've had come on and do that property and whatnot. But for instance, the guys that wrote Endgame and Infinity War, because even though the Russos directed it, they didn't write it. We're talking about McFreely and the other person.
Right.
Um,
Jiggly.
where the Russos could visually put it together, and I think they're the best. I think those four individuals should handle and get paid as much money as those guys want to handle the big deal movies,
Right.
because those guys are lightning in a bottle, in my opinion. If we're just talking about the comic book genre as a whole right now, not necessarily cinema as a whole, but just that genre,
Right.
those guys can handle it,
Right.
because you have the Russos who can visually piece it together. Because like there were so many shots that were done in those movies, and most notably is the classic comic book double panel of like the two sides wall of death and together.
Yeah.
We got that in a motion picture, man. Like for the final battle with the Avengers and Thanos' army, where the camera backs up and you see it. Like they kind of teased it in Civil War when they had them going at each other in the memed out airport thing.
Yeah.
But then they were like, okay, we did that because we wanted to show you we could do this, and we're like, oh, okay,
Right.
awesome. But you have that, but yet you have these other two guys who are writing the story, shaping it up together, and they made it well written, I think.
Yeah.
I just went to Twitter to pull that up, right, and I'm seeing on the side here that Kathleen Kennedy is trending. Wonder why? Click on it, okay? An article from the direct.com.
Yeah.
Disney plans to remove Star Wars boss Kathleen Kennedy. This is, of course, a rumor, but after she's been there for 10 years, they say it's rumored that she's going to be leaving in 2023. So that may be why they've swapped this guy back around.
Right.
They're getting in place for that. But then they're also saying she's leaving, but first she's going to ruin Indiana Jones first. We're going to let her ruin that one.
Yeah.
And then she's going to go. So they're saying she's also on her way out. I can't believe it's been 10 years.
And I'll continue to take that whole thing with Kennedy with a grain of salt, simply because
it happens every year. They say this shit.
I've heard everything from she's getting canned,
that Lucas
she's
is coming
running,
back, and
she's running out of her contract and then leaving. I
don't think they'll renew it.
She's resigning. Like I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing with Iger, though, is that despite the oddity of the current situation, Iger's been with that company for like 40 years.
Yeah.
So he's been there for the highs, the lows, the nitty gritty. And it make like and I think the article that I read said he's only going to be there for 2 years while they find another CEO.
So they just straight up fired that guy with the quickness.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
trying to do his job.
But ultimately, in the same article that was talking about the stockholders and everything, the author, they presented a very good point, and it's that there had to be some number, something that the public has absolutely no knowledge of on a financial level that had to usher that in.
Right.
there had to be perhaps they're not being honest with us about how well their streaming is,
Right.
or ticket sales, or any of that stuff. Because
Well,
another
and
thing,
money's about to get tighter.
well,
So
to the
unless you
point
got
now,
some good shit to offer, people aren't going to pay for every streaming service. I do know that Disney's killing Netflix on the subscriber front.
Right.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Look what that guy said.
And beyond,
I just saw that on Twitter where he said 10 years after Kathleen Kennedy dies of old age, some random YouTuber, guys, she might be finally fired. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, and outside of actual content, I saw somewhere that the Star Wars the big resort that they've opened, that apparently hasn't been doing that well.
I wonder why.
Look at the price tag on that thing.
I mean, who can afford to go stay in that? Do they not know who their fans are?
Well, apparently now they're
not billionaires.
Well, apparently this new resort that's only been open for like maybe a couple of years now, maybe not even a year, they're already rolling out the 30% discount emails to people to try to get them to come stay and everything. So I mean, there's got to be a loss of such significance somewhere on that spreadsheet of theirs that made them be like, well, this is we're not doing this.
Well, but the way that is structured is completely, it's made to fail. Like, it's $5,000 a night, and you
Ain't
can only
nobody paying
stay,
that shit, dude.
and you can only stay for 2 days.
And
So
they spent $1 billion on that resort. $1 billion.
And the three of us, we're as gung ho Star Wars.
I would love to go, but I can't pay $5,000 for 2 nights.
Not $5,000.
Even if it was a week, I'm not paying $5,000.
Like, I better have a SpaceX TIE fighter take me into low Earth orbit and go around the planet while I'm,
But that's actually $6,000 for 2 nights.
I mean, that's fucking crazy. Like, if I'm dropping $6,000 on a vacation, I want it to be minimum 7-day.
I want all food included.
Yeah,
I want,
exactly.
Like that. Yeah, like that. That's
everything
that's
should be paid for at that point.
That's a good chunk of money to be able to say, hey, I went on a vacation and did whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, and came back home. Maybe we're just simple men, guys, but I feel like that's a good chunk of change to holiday on.
Well, I mean, getting there, getting home, like, it's just,
but it doesn't cost that much to go to the other parks.
Exactly. So, like,
why are they upcharging this one? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
Is what let me look. I wonder exactly what do you get for 5,000?
Yeah.
It's Star Wars resorts. I can't remember the actual names of it. Not
Galaxy's Edge.
Well, it's Galaxy's Edge, but there's an actual there's like a whole other thing they have now.
I don't know, but why you're looking for that?
Yeah.
We'll just keep talking.
Yeah. But anyway,
$1 billion.
Yeah, right. But you want to hit on some Tarantino real quick?
Yeah.
Sure.
Tarantino's been making the rounds, so we've got a couple of things from him here.
Book.
Yeah. So during an interview with CNN's Chris Wallace, the 59-year-old filmmaker reveals why he plans to stop directing after his next movie. As it turns out, Tarantino is already feeling out of touch with the current films released today. Thank you. Well, I've been doing it for a long time. I've been doing it for 30 years, and it's time to wrap up the show. Like I said, I'm an entertainer. I want to leave you wanting more, and not just work. I don't want to work to diminishing returns. I don't want to be one. I don't want to become this old man who's out of touch when already I'm feeling a bit like an old man out of touch when it comes to the current movies that are out right now. And that's what happens. But I mean, going on here, it's talking about the success of his films. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's, I understand where he's coming from because hell, I'm not even that old and I feel out of touch
Yeah.
sometimes, like, so I think it's just, if he keeps, that's the thing about Tarantino. If he keeps doing him and he keeps doing, what he's good at and delivering these very interesting and unique stories,
Mhm.
then people are going to show up.
Yeah.
There's nobody making movies like Tarantino.
No.
Nobody.
Dude, he said for that, I can't remember if it was Django or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He said the studios, this was after the whole Miramax thing. The studios were fighting for it. Fighting to see who could put it out.
Right.
They couldn't put it out fast because it's gonna make money. It's gonna be a banger. But I heard him say to Tom, he's like, "Is this really gonna be your last one?" He's like, "Oh yeah, man." He's like 10. He's like, "Why 10?" He's like, "Well, it's a good number. I mean,
Yeah.
He's like, "But I don't want to like be that old guy that's just making movies just to make them and like fuck up my filmography." I got a pretty good track record there. There's going to be 10 bangers.
Yeah.
That's it. Because if you keep making them, eventually, we've seen it. We've seen directors that used to make great movies and then they get old, keep making these movies. It's like, what are you doing? All these movies you constantly see, like all those old actors, Bruce Willis. I mean, How the Mighty Have Fallen,
Yeah.
Just a little quick cash grab.
So
But he said he's bowing out. He did say, now that's movies.
Yeah.
Right? He has a short series, 8 episodes that he's got wrote. It's finished.
Damn.
He didn't give no details. Tom was like, "Is this news?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, this is the first time I've said it on anything." So, but there is a show that I've got put together, and he wants to write a book. It'll just be no more movies, and he doesn't want to like. He asked me about the Marvel stuff. I see you have an article there, but he was like, "You're not when you go in to direct there. You're not really.
Yeah,
the movie's going the way it's going.
Like,
You're not changing nothing, and I'm not into that. So,
right.
But I respect it.
I respect the hell out of it, dude.
Well, you want to go out on top. He said you want to go out on top, leaving them wanting more.
Yeah. And who knows? Like, he may go out on 10. He's 59. By the time he gets his next film out, he'll be around 65. We'll say around 65.
Yeah, he said he doesn't even know what it's going to be yet. He hadn't even started working on it.
Yeah, so he may come out when he's 70, 75.
Could happen.
And drop a random one.
Yeah.
Like.
I'm interested in what kind of show. Well, we're talking about an 8-hour.
Yeah, right.
So I happened to find the Star Wars thing that we were talking about. It is the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel.
Yeah.
But yeah, according to Wikipedia, it's a 2-night live action choose your own adventure experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of the criticism, like we were talking about, is on the price. And their response is, well, this is for hardcore Star Wars fans that want to role play, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a LARP hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still not worth $5,000.
No, not at all.
But yeah, with what you're talking about with Tarantino,
I mean, respect.
Absolutely.
Because it would happen, y'all, if he just kept. He's like, it's hard to sit down and write a banger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially 10 times.
Right.
After a while, you'll lose that. You're like, you're just putting shit out now. What happened?
Yeah.
We've seen other directors do it over time. They lose touch. Yeah. They just start putting shit out.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that guy. Like, he cares. You know what I mean? His career, his legacy, that matters to him.
Yeah.
Not money.
Yeah. Speaking of that, he does, into the Marvel thing. This is what he had to say about it. Part of the Marvelization of Hollywood is you have all these actors who have become famous playing these characters, but they're not movie stars, right? Captain America is the star, or Thor is the star. I mean, I'm not the first person to say that. I think that's been said a zillion times, but it's like, it's these franchise characters that become a star. And I mean, that's true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's very true, but, I mean, you could also say, like, Vincent Vega, you know, I know that look at the careers that he brought back, and y
Oh, yeah, dude.
and I
John
understand what
Travolta
he
owes him everything.
Yeah,
He's the one. And
and
then Sam Jackson.
yeah, oh, yeah, and I understand what he's saying, like, I brought
Yeah.
Travolta back.
Like,
I
Thor is
created
gonna
this
be
part.
big no matter what, it's Thor.
Yeah,
But you
exactly,
also need a
right.
good actor to play the person.
Yeah,
I
and not
mean,
to make it cheesy and, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So but yeah, that's, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like I get where he's coming from and I understand it, but I don't necessarily agree with it. So, but he did talk about here the Marvel movie did he almost direct here. There was a time before all this Marvel shit was coming out. It was after Reservoir Dogs. It was before Pulp Fiction, and I thought about doing Luke Cage. Growing up, I was a big comic book collector, and my two favorite comic books were Luke Cage, Hero for Hire, later Luke Cage, Power Man, and Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. I always liked Werewolf by Night. That was a great one, and Tomb of Dracula was great. But my absolute hero was Luke Cage. What actually dissuaded me from doing it was my comic geek friends talked me out of it because I had an idea that Larry Fishburne would have been the perfect guy to play Luke Cage. And I'm talking King of New York era Larry Fishburne. My name is Jimmy Jump. But all my friends were like, no, no, listen, it's got to be Wesley Snipes. And I go, look, I like Wesley Snipes, but Larry Fishburne is practically Marlon Brando. I think Fish is the man.
Why
And
is
they're
he
like,
calling
yeah,
him Larry?
I don't
He's
know.
talking about
It's
Lawrence
Larry.
Fishburne.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And they're like, yeah, but he'd have to get in shape in a big way. Snipes is that way already. And I go, fuck that. That's not important. Fuck you. You ruined the whole damn thing. So I mean, he at some point he was interested in doing a Marvel property, but like I would like to see what his interpretation of Luke Cage would have been.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting.
Did you happen to scroll down a little further? I think this is an interesting one. Tarantino considered remaking Reservoir Dogs as his final movie.
Holy shit. No, I didn't see that.
Says he confirmed to Bill Maher that his next movie will be his last, and at one point he considered doing a Reservoir Dogs remake. And he said, quote, "From here on in, directors do not get better. Working for 30 years, doing as many movies as I've done, that's a long career. That's a really long career. And I've given it everything I have, every single solitary thing I have." And he goes on to say, "That's kind of a capture time in a moment kind of thing, but I actually considered doing a remake of Reservoir Dogs as my last movie. I won't do it, internet, but I considered it."
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
They wanted him to put Johnny Depp in that. And he was like, uh-uh.
Looking for a little black bag.
Well, like he said, when you go in there to do these deals, the studio, they want star power
Right.
enough to pull an audience. And he's like, the movie will pull an audience.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Well,
this was before they're like, well, you're all right, new guy. Yeah,
Who
I
would
don't think I want to do it the way I want to do it.
would he have played fucking
I can't
Buscemi's
remember
part?
who he said.
Or fucking what's his name? Mr. Orange. Um God damn it.
Yeah, I don't
What the
remember. He
fuck?
even talked about Pulp Fiction with Willis.
Oh, Mr. Pink.
No, no, no.
Mr. White?
The British guy that played fucking Abomination. Tim
Oh,
Roth. I
oh
could
yeah.
see that being Johnny Depp. You
This was
shot
at the
me.
time when Johnny Depp was so like huge,
Right, yeah,
and it would
yeah.
have pulled. Just the name alone, he's like, they like to do that because then they're like, all right, we'll give you $50 million. You know,
Yeah.
we feel better knowing that it's got some star power, but
But you know, the thing with Tarantino is that it's clever because he said after his 10th movie,
yeah.
he's gonna stop.
Yeah.
So he can always opt out when he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And as long as he doesn't make it, he still has a movie to make.
Yeah.
So
That's
but
true. Well, I'm excited to see what he comes and that series, like the next film, the next series,
Yeah,
and then
whatever.
I mean, think about this though too, man. Like he could continue writing and writing, making
Yep.
books and all this shit, and like those will be adapted by like, you know, the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have a hard time capturing like what like his
His essence.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it could be done, you know? So
I think it's gonna take the next Tarantino to do that.
yeah,
And
exactly, right.
and it's not to diminish that Tarantino's one of a kind, he'll always be, but to the point where his style is, it's a badge of honor, you know?
Yeah, right.
Almost like in the same vein as, Abrams had the Spielberg label for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, the influence of Tarantino will live on through other filmmakers and is already doing it, you know?
Yeah. He also said here that he would love to join the Marvel universe if they let him do Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. While Tarantino has now chosen the Marvel movie he'd like to helm, he has said in the past that he would never be tempted to make an installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You would have to hire you have to be a hired hand to do those things, Tarantino said previously when asked if he would ever direct an installment in either the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the DC universe. I'm not that hired hand. I'm not looking for a job. So, should the studio want to see a Tarantino helm Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, it would likely need to be separate from the rest of the franchise. They could make it to where because I mean
It could be a
they
special presentation, a one
exactly.
shot,
Yeah,
like there's room for it.
yeah. But yeah, that's interesting. So
I would really, you know, now that the whole him writing books and just, screenplays and stuff was brought up, I think that would be a really great way to enjoy a Tarantino Star Trek story.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Publish
he
it as a
worked on it, you
book,
know? Yeah.
you know,
So why not? You gotta
because
imagine that he's got fan fiction. He's a nerd, dude. I'm just
right.
saying, like, I don't mean that in a bad way. He's a nerd. He's got Captain Kirk fan fiction, dude. Scotty, beam me up. So yeah. Next up here, they finally found a director for Blade. So it looks like the movie itself may be getting an overhaul in the process. Following the departure of Bassam Tarek, Kevin Feige has been wading through possible replacements for the outgoing director. And according to Deadline, settled on White Boy Rick and Lovecraft Country Helmer Jan
Ooh.
Damage. Not only that, but the script for the movie will also be rewritten by Michael Starbury and
Rewritten?
will reportedly take a darker tone than previously thought. Marvel Studios did not rush to replace Tarek when he moved on from the movie and instead delayed the release of the film to allow time to find the right person for the job. Blade will now be hitting cinemas on September the 6th, and production moved from this winter to early next year to accommodate the change. However, while a new director was a requirement, there were not initially any hints that there would also be a change in the writing team. However, with reports suggesting the star Mashallah Ali was not happy with the script, and insiders adding that the film lacked any action, it is perhaps not surprising that an entire overhaul is in the cards. In addition to that, Marvel's recent Disney Plus special presentation of Werewolf by Night
I knew
has
it.
proven that fans are ready for some dark in the MCU, and that seems to be where Blade is now heading. This will likely please many of the fans of the Vampire Hunter who have been more than a little worried that the character's introduction to the PG-13 world of the main MCU would result in a watered-down Blade. While the new version will be nowhere near as dark as Wesley Snipes' original Blade movies, word that it will be one of the darkest toned movies to grace the Marvel Cinematic Universe will certainly be welcome.
You remember when we watched Werewolf by Night, we were talking about it. The same time was when they announced they were pushing Blade back, and it was like, wonder if Werewolf by Night had something to do with that. We were talking about that. It did. Well, dude, it got such a positive response. People were like, yes. I mean, it was awesome. Like, and they're like, oh shit, we can go darker. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
that fucking changed everything.
Well, I mean, if you look at what a lot of the, like, for instance, like the world of anime and what a lot of teens are watching already right now, some of that stuff is brutal.
Yeah.
And so those dark tones, the story being just like gore filled or whatever. We're not going to get obviously like a bloodbath on screen.
Yeah.
But we've started getting little trickles of that as far back as Doctor Strange 2. I mean, for it being the movie that it is, he marionettes a dead version of himself in the final battle.
Yeah, right.
For that type of, for something as family friendly as Marvel, they definitely visually went there because some of the stuff in it was creepy for Marvel standards.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I feel like regardless of the current trends whatsoever,
yeah,
I don't think Marvel would have went as far to insult its own legacy by watering down Blade.
Yeah.
I think if that was the only option they had on the table was to have this, toned down version, I don't think they would have even bothered with it and have just let the Wesley Snipes film stand on its own.
No, I agree 100%.
And I mean, they hedged a lot of bets on. I mean, Blade as a character and as a film saved their asses in terms of being a movie company.
Yeah, right.
They didn't have any money. They didn't have any of the rights at the time for any of the real big names.
Yeah.
And they hedged they hedged a big bet on it. They went a full Elon Musk with it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they wouldn't have done that. But, I think it's going to be fine.
Oh,
I mean, we have, the point has been hammered in from Ryan Reynolds to tons of other people that Deadpool is not going to change its tone simply because it's under a new banner.
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night.
Certified banger.
Yeah, absolutely. Any news is good news when it shows that the Blade movie's moving along.
Moving in the right direction, too. They're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Turns out this script fucking sucks. We're going to redo it. It's like, yeah, that's awesome. We'll wait.
Yeah, right.
Do it the right way. Dude, the Lovecraft guy. Now, he didn't write any of the show, but damn, that show looked great.
Yeah.
He directed the hell out of it. So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I can't wait to have that little moment, that little nostalgic moment on screen where Ollie's fucking shit up, and then you just hear someone just show up and go, hello, like, surprised to see me, Dave Walker, or something like that,
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's awesome, man. And last thing up here, so there was a couple of things about Hemsworth that I wanted to bring up. That was the next article is what we were talking about, the red flag if it's someone that just knows all the source material. But there's one thing that I did want to know. So there's been articles coming out where Chris Hemsworth has said that his next outing as Thor will be his last outing as Thor. And I think that news comes in correlation with the fact that, like, he is predisposed for early onset Alzheimer's.
He's got the gene on both sides, mother and father.
Yeah.
So it's not
I
a
have
50-50.
Yeah,
It's
and he's like
almost a for
40.
sure thing. Yeah. But
Yeah,
they got like excellent medical. When they go in to do these
yeah,
movies, they go in, they get every fucking test done.
yeah,
He knows.
right.
It's kind of sad though. Like,
It is. And the
But
thing is, it's like he wants to get as much done, and I respect the hell out of that. Like
yeah,
and but I guess overall though, all all sad news aside, um, I mean it's a good thing that something like that's come along for him to make him want to kind of slow down and enjoy
yeah,
his family and stuff. That's always a good thing when someone in Hollywood realizes that and breaks away and can go do that
right,
because you know the Hollywood life, it's all consuming, and
yeah,
for his reasons he's like, I think at some point in that article he was saying, I'd keep piling one movie on another
yeah.
and just
yeah,
keep working, and but as far as Thor's concerned, we've had him on screen 8 times, man.
yeah,
uh I feel like if they did do a final movie and let it be the ending of Thor's story, I think there's more than enough content
Oh
of Chris
yeah,
Hemsworth playing Thor out there now.
yeah,
Good, like even the Dark World and that first out, dude. Those first 2 movies are still good.
yeah,
and he's even like, I'll do another one. I'll make an exit. I'll do another
right,
one, but that's gonna have to be the last one.
yeah,
When I read that, I was like, okay,
yeah.
that could also be a negotiation tactic. I'm just
Well,
saying.
that's true. Yeah, that is absolutely true. But I mean, we'll see what happens with it. But I mean, if they decide to go a different direction, bring somebody else in, I mean, that last Thor was it almost felt like a passing of the
It did.
torch that
It
never
felt like it
happened.
then. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
bringing the
So
little girl in.
right, so it's going to be very interesting how that all plays out. So, but I'm ready for trailers, man. Ready for trailers, man.
If you don't mind, I'd like to give an honorable mention. I don't know if we brought it up last week or not, but they have released the official title of the next Godzilla Kong movie, and
Ooh,
it's gonna be just called Godzilla and Kong: The Battle for Earth.
ooh.
So maybe
Spa-
some space Godzilla.
Yeah, some space Godzilla. I mean, the aliens
Excited.
were always fucking around with Godzilla. Like they couldn't get enough of that Godzilla fucking wop, dude. So like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like they were all trying to get up in that shit. So makes sense.
I do not know if it's live action or not either, but I believe we're also going to be getting a Netflix Chimera uh,
Mm,
installment. It's going to be the first in a long time.
that should
If,
be
and
interesting.
yeah, like I said, I'm not too sure if it's going to be live action or animated, so I'll report back on that if I see it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. For shizzle my nizzle.
All right.
White noise, dude. This is that fucking
I think we saw a
Adam
teaser,
Driver. Yeah, yeah.
which didn't give us nothing.
No, dude. I'm
So,
hoping.
so this, just for clarity, this is nothing to do with the Michael Keaton paranormal films, right?
No.
I don't think
Okay,
so.
okay, all right.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Somebody's saying it's got like National Lampoon Vacation kind of vibes.
Wow, so the whole other way.
I love fucking movies like that.
Yeah. Look at this guy.
You're fucked either way.
Yeah. Wow. Oh
This is
shit.
gonna be on Netflix. You remember the teaser? They were on the road here.
Yeah.
Mhm. The writer director of this movie wrote the screenplay for Fantastic Mr. Fox. I'm sold.
Yeah, right.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
That's
the
like the
National
only thing he's
Lampoon
done, but
vibes.
yeah.
The it's real, man. It's like National
Oh
Lampoon's
yeah.
The Road.
Wonder why white noise. December the
That
30th. Throw it on a
that
pile.
yeah, for real. That looks great, man. I'm there for it, bro.
I watch anything with Adam Driver in it.
Yeah, for real.
That was it what is it? Lucky Logan? That's the
Logan
one that
Lucky.
did it for me.
Yeah, right. I am incarcerated.
All right, folks. The next trailer, The Devil Conspiracy.
Yeah, well, yeah. What's this old boat? What's this old boat?
Break out your tinfoil hats.
Yeah, right.
Intergalactic vampires. Are y'all ready?
Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1, play. Play. It's a Shroud of Towing, isn't it? I'm getting kind of, what's it? Angels and Demons kind of vibe.
Yeah.
What was that movie called?
Dante's
Um,
Inferno.
Da Vinci Code?
That's it.
Not Dante's Inferno, but there is another book called Inferno that's the same character. Holy shit. So, like,
That's what I'm talking.
we're
I'm
getting
straight running
religious
like Terminator.
superheroes.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, why not just make a Castlevania movie?
Are we cloning
The
Jesus?
Antichrist?
I think so.
And have they listened to this podcast before? You know,
Yeah.
it had to happen sometime.
Yeah, oh
I'm
yeah.
surprised it's taken this long.
Jesus
Yeah.
Clone is a good band
Well, I
name,
like
by the way.
the using the shroud. You know, my idea was that they find DNA on the hill.
Yeah, the spear.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
or that.
yeah.
Like, I never thought about just using the shroud. But cloning Jesus movie, I'm kind of in on it just to see what happens. I mean,
It's like
it
this
is the
movie's about
Antichrist.
it looks like it's a bad like a movie written by somebody at a Bad Batch of Delta 8.
Isn't it?
Delta
So
Nate.
how many of these fucking Avatar trailers are they gonna keep dropping?
This is the second one. We had a teaser, then we had the other one, and come on, dude, it's been like 10 years in the making.
Yeah, for real, right?
I mean, it's the Avatar, the shape. I mean,
Look
the
how
way of
colorful
water.
that thing is.
Yeah, right.
The dragon, not the other thing. All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
All fake.
Everything. I
I
guarantee
mean,
you, he's had a breakthrough in CGI that will go on to be used in other films. He always
Oh,
does
yeah.
something like that. He invents
Yeah.
something that
we'll say I think he's got us all fooled. He actually went to another planet and
film
filmed
this.
these
Yeah.
motherfuckers, yeah, with some Nat Geo cameras.
It looks better than the CGI that was in the first Avatar. So it's rodeo in space.
Yeah. Rodeo, dude.
Yeah.
I'm here for the mechs, you know?
Yeah.
Like this shit looks pretty and all, but like I'm ready for yeah. I'm ready for the Terran troops. Because the
All
StarCraft
right.
expansion looks sick.
You require more Vespingas. Looks epic.
Yeah.
I think this one's gonna have a better story.
Yeah.
He took a really long time. It kind of makes sense, the water shit, dude, because he kind of went off on that submarine shit for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Did he find
Oh,
something down
that
there?
I mean he found what he was looking for, I guess.
Or he's like, and I still haven't found.
What is no this whole the whole movie was filmed inside the Hollow Earth. That's what he did.
He finally got through the barrier.
He did.
Fear.
Hell yeah.
Fuck everything and run.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's got T.I. in it.
Ooh. Okay.
All right. Playing kid. 3, 2, 1, play. I don't think I've ever seen him in a scary movie. Mm-hmm.
That never pans out well.
There he is. There's T.I. This must be the T.I. crowd.
Yeah.
It's claustrophobia, isn't it?
Isn't it? I hate small spaces.
They all confess their fears and then they
And then
start
die that
dying.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of
They'd be like,
us
what's your
because we
biggest
got
fear? I'm like, a room full of titties. Just a bunch of titties. On a Tuesday, a titty Tuesday.
you walk in and it's just a bunch of breasts, but then you cut the fan on so the nipples get hard.
Yeah. That's always, that dude's a YouTuber, by the way. Oh,
iDubbbz?
he
I
blew up
mean,
on Vine.
oh. Well, I mean, we wouldn't have a movie if they could.
That's always creepy to me, dude, when people look in mirrors and their reflection like moves.
Yeah.
What's it saying?
I don't know. It's casting
My
spells.
mind is playing tricks on me.
It is what's that? My ball is playing tricks on me.
Oh shit!
Shots like that, that's always weird when somebody beats their head.
I mean, just show us the whole movie, why don't they?
The way that it said it, my mom's playing tricks on me. Sounds
Like
like
a
the
rap
kid
ad
from
lib.
y'all remember the PJs
Yeah.
projects? The kid, the fat kid. My mom's playing tricks on me. I don't know. I want me a piece of that donut. I just ate some pudding.
I couldn't get all of it with the spoon.
Oh, Reno 911. Man, I still gotta watch that one they did on the cruise ship.
Yeah, right.
Keep forgetting about it.
Yeah.
Shit, let's peep it. This comes December the 3rd. All right.
Hell
3,
yeah.
2, 1, play. Oh. Oh, the Christmas angel.
The idea of taking Dangle on Wonderful and putting him in It's a Wonderful Life is just the greatest idea.
Did y'all know that Nick Swartzen wrote Grandma's Boy?
No.
I didn't know that either until I listened to him he was on Theo's podcast. They're not live. I'm down to watch that.
Yeah, that looks hilarious.
Reno's another one of those, kind of like Aqua Teen.
Yeah.
Joe from the
Absolutely.
past, that just kind of random. But yeah, he wrote Malibu's Most Wanted, Grandma's Boy, and The Benchwarmers back to back.
Holy shit.
I never knew
I
that.
mean, no, dude. That's fucking crazy.
Nick
got some Nick
Cage
Cage.
kisses.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a stash. My luscious stash.
Gotta wear a stash and a Stetson. It's the only way I can rock the old
Stash
way.
on a Stetson. Wearing Stetson cologne. Ugh.
Yeah,
Throw
right.
a little brood on him.
But this is a movie where he goes, police works for a man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's no women in the Old West. 3, 2, 1, play. Supposed to be a Western.
I buried my bride at dawn.
Oh, I thought that was him talking. Please have an accent.
Oh, he's going on full revenge.
Oh, he's Breaking Bad, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking. It's Old Man Henry with Nick Cage, which is a great movie, by the way.
When he says he's coming, he's coming. He's here!
Colton Briggs.
Is the old way supposed to be eye for an eye?
Leaves the
We'll
whole
show you how
world
we used to do
blind.
this in the whole way.
All right. Time to hop on our plane and head to Dubai, guys. It's Bollywood time.
Yeah, dude.
Da, da, da.
This is real Indian cinema. #1 comment. Let's see it.
No, man. No, man. Oh, man. I'm ready for spectacle, guys.
Yes.
Prasanth Varma Cinematic Universe? This shit's connected?
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
I mean, look at this.
Uh-huh.
Any dimension. Okay.
Oh, yeah, subtitles.
Whoa. What is that thing?
Like Indian Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
I like the song.
Holy.
This One Punch Man. One punch, it slung. They're about a silly goose time, dude.
I know, right? Ooh.
Insufficient
we here?
memory. You got 32 gigs down there in that cave, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Plenty should be enough.
Yeah.
He punched them, and they all flew up in the sky.
Yeah, dude. That's
One
how
punch.
powerful he is. Yeah.
Rum. Is he saying he wants some rum? Like, no, it's ram.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah, buddy.
DDR5. All right.
The recruit.
Who we recruiting? Hey, wait a minute. I think this guy was a Black Adam. Let me see. I'll look while I'm playing. All right. 3, 2, 1, play. I wonder if this is a remake of the. Yeah. Dude was in Black Adam. Thought it was him.
He looks like a young. He looks and acts like a young Gruffalo.
Yeah. I think this is a TV show.
I mean, could be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a
I don't
series.
know. Babylon.
He looks so sad.
Yeah, right.
Oh, this is the one with Margot Robbie.
Yeah, yeah.
Ready when y'all are.
It wasn't creepy
Oh,
at
yeah.
all. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, yeah. Remember they had cocaine. There was a teaser.
Yeah. I thought this was like a trailer.
I love movies about making movies.
Yeah, right.
We heard you like movies so much, we put a movie in the movie.
Okay.
2 more off the tail, 3 more off the head. Oh. Mm. Back then, there was different ways of working your way up the ladder.
Yeah, right.
Oh, what the fuck? She's like, I got here on my own 2 knees. Have y'all noticed we're starting to see a lot of trailers like that Amsterdam trailers, this kind of time period?
Yeah, yeah.
There's been a few all of a sudden where it's all based
Well,
around
these different takes on
the
period
them
pieces.
Midnight at Soho. That kind of
Yeah.
had the same vibe. I
Right.
don't even think that's the name of it. It had Soho in the title.
Yeah. Had Anya Taylor-Joy in it. This looks interesting. I like Defoe, so I'm interested to see what he's inside of. You know what I'm saying?
This is his
Mhm.
version of the Bo Burnham
Oh
inside.
shit. Okay.
He's like, I'm
Okay.
acting. I'm gonna sing these songs. Jeffrey, you did it, Jeffrey. All right.
Don't tell Harry. Don't tell Harry.
Don't tell Harry. 3, 2, 1, play. Do you read Sutter Kane?
Yeah, right.
Oh, give me some dark shit, dude. What's happening? Okay. Dude, Willem Dafoe has like just forever been the same age.
Yeah,
My
right.
whole life, he's looked just like that. Look how young he looks. Probably won't stay out of that door. Yeah, it's gonna be good, dude.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the whole movie's just gonna be him. Dude, he's eating a fish.
Yeah.
Ooh. When I said go dark, I had no idea.
It's a living art piece.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, the guy
Like,
knew that it was the heist
you're
was
a
gonna
part of
happen
the art now, dude.
Yeah, exactly. That looks so good though.
It does. Trying to look up. Look at that later. I'm over here like, who made this?
Yeah. Whew. What happened here?
What happened? Fucking Method of the Madness, dude.
Yeah, come on, Brad.
Everything's gonna be all right.
Oh, bye. Oh, I'm ready for this.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play. And it's that song. Nana 2. Lilith?
Lilith.
Lilith was before Eve.
Yeah.
Lilith was evil.
Well, that's a terrible fucking idea. Let's turn a summoning spell into an earworm.
A lullaby. Look, man. If that thing right there took my baby, I'd be like, you know what? It was a new baby. We hadn't had it that long. I mean,
keep it.
It was just a few months.
I mean, you know.
He didn't even have papers yet.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, we should just move.
Yeah.
Where'd the baby go?
Yeah.
Right in there. Go ahead. You're welcome to it.
Yeah. Have at it, bro.
We're leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's her baby now.
Yeah. Sorry, baby.
What y'all want to watch next week?
I want to watch Black Adam.
Okay. Trav, you down to watch Black Adam?
Follow me.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Well, meet us back here next week. We're watching Black Adam. We're watching Bladam.
Bladam, dude.
With The Rock and that dude that was in the Recruit trailer. Not going to tell you who he plays. Yeah. Motherfucking.
Why? He's playing White Adam.
Wasn't he Adam Smasher?
I don't know none of the source material. But yeah, he's Adam Smasher.
Hell yeah.
But yeah. Checks in the mail.